What was
Good morning.
the most important thing you took away that you wanted to share this morning, and we'll just jump off from there?
Well, for me, obviously, it's the fact that the greatness of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls wasn't ruined by age or attrition or anything like that. It was ruled by egos. When you have a guy like Jerry Krause, who obviously was an exceptional executive, the bottom line is he put everything together outside of Michael Jordan for that Chicago Bulls team. And for him to be so exceptional as an executive, yet to be in a position where you've won 5 championships and you're about to win 6. You get ready to start the season and win 6, and you tell the 5-time championship coach, somebody you hired, you could go 82-0 and you're not coming back. It seems to make no sense. So even though there was the Michael Jordan element and some of the things that motivated him, which was great for all of us to see. And of course, in episode 2, you looked at Scottie Pippen and his foolishness with signing a 7-year deal, and making like $2.8 million in his last year. What stood out to me most was Jerry Krause acting the way that he did and willing to disband this group, and more importantly, an owner in Jerry Reinsdorf who allowed him to do it. And also in the process, you have one of the greatest players we've ever seen in our lifetimes in Scottie Pippen. Yeah, he messed up. He signed a long-term deal. But to not budge at all, not to do anything for the guy, it just appeared to be so heartless. And when I look at the Chicago Bulls now and their struggles, it almost seems like it's a welcomed comeuppance because of how they were willing to conduct business back in those days.
Yeah, Scottie Pippen, something they touched on last night, but was a big factor in that. He had back surgery and back injuries. I think he was very concerned about his career being cut short, and he wanted to make sure he got money that he would be able to take care of everything. And then it turns out to be one of the worst contracts anyone has ever signed in recent sports memory, if not longer than that. So, JL, let me come back to you, because the conversation here, and Stephen A., you may have heard it, you know what happens. You can't, I post something on Twitter yesterday, I mean, innocently and harmlessly, saying you're going to get to see the greatest of all time tonight, Michael Jordan, you're going to love the film. And Jalen, immediately people start yelling at me about LeBron James. Why is there this, that you can't mention this without it turning into that debate?
Yeah, and I understand, and there's going to be a generational and a recency bias. A lot of times when it happens during your era, you feel like it's the best. You see it in movies, you see it in music when people start to do lists, and you see it in sports. So there will be people of this generation that call LeBron James the greatest basketball player that they've seen. And for this generation, Greeny, he is. But for those of us that know more than just the LeBron James era and have a wealth of knowledge about the history of the game, there are some people that played in the league that were able to achieve a level of greatness that LeBron has not been able to achieve. That's why we call it a Mount Rushmore. Michael Jordan, we know, is there. And there are going to be people that want to debate. But for me, in no particular order, you can three-car Monty these people for all I care. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Bill Russell achieved a level of greatness that put them ahead of LeBron James on that all-time great list. So to me, this argument never has any merit.
Stephen A., how about the Michael LeBron thing? You must hear it.
Well, first of all, I view it slightly differently. Jalen and I are on the same page when it comes to Michael Jordan. There is no debate. And, you know, one of the things that annoys me about this generation, and I would say to you, Greeny, I don't know why you give a damn about what people think. They can kick rocks. I mean, adopt my mentality. I thank the good Lord every day that my family, my mama blessed me with that attitude. I could give less than a damn what people have to say about, you know, my opinions if I firmly believe what I firmly believe. I believe Michael Jordan to be the GOAT. I do believe that LeBron James is on the Mount Rushmore. But to speak to what Jalen is alluding to, this generation is just softer, because you could sit up there and talk about LeBron like he's the #2 player in the history of basketball. And folks close to him and those that are not close to him but just love him will treat it like you said the man can't play. It's unbelievable, and they hold on to it. Seriously. Now, the old school cats Jalen can speak to, the Jordans of the world and everybody else, they'll call you up, they'll debate you, they might even cuss you out, because I have been cussed out by those Hall of Famers if they've disagreed with me. But after that, we give each other a pound and a hug, at least before social distancing kicked in, and we move on way. Today's generation actually holds it against you, builds up a cadre of people that are calling you haters. They hate you and treat you like it just because you disagree with them. As it pertains to Jalen's point about Kareem and Russell, yes, greater champions, won more rings. But when I put LeBron James on a Mount Rushmore, it's because of the eye test too, Jalen. You look at what he does, even with Magic. Yeah, Magic was a greater leader as far as I'm concerned. Greatest point guard that ever lived. But when you look at the ability of LeBron James, Magic Johnson never had that. And even Magic Johnson knows that. So when you're talking about LeBron, you're taking all of that into consideration while also respecting 3 championships and 9 trips to the finals.
Go back to the previous part. I love that idea about how the players today handle the criticism, and I'm putting that in air quotes, because to say that a guy is the 4th or 5th greatest player of all time is hardly criticizing him. But that said, the way they handle it today versus the way the older guys did.
Oh boy. So here are a couple of metrics that when you're trying to decipher these all-time great players, and as Stephen A. alluded to, these guys are legends. They're GOATs. They're top 5 players to do it. So it's never any disrespect to even be a part of this conversation. If you're a kid from Akron, I'm pretty sure LeBron enjoys just being mentioned in the same sentence as people that he idolized, and he's a historian of the game. But a couple of things that when you start to separate them, Greeny, of course you're going to pay attention to their championships, but also pay attention to the times they won Finals MVP. LeBron has done that 3 times, amazingly. Jordan has done that 6 times, okay? They didn't have the award when Bill Russell was playing. He won 11 in 13 years.
Yeah, they named the award after Bill Russell, Jalen.
Okay, right.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.